We're building up to Saturday's big fight. Amir Khan against unbeaten Colombian Breidis Prescott. Khan, an Olympic medalist 4 years ago, now at the age of 21. He has his sights set on a world title. Nicky Piper is part of our team. He can't wait for this exciting new phase in Khan's career to begin. So will the boy from Bolton fulfil his dream and join the list of British boxing's modern-day greats? Here's Adam Smith.
British boxing's on a high after our 2 bronze medals and James de Gale's gold in Beijing. Amir Khan, of course, shone in Athens. Now he's set to become our next big boxing star.
I want to win many world titles. I want to move up weights. I want to fight guys a weight above me, and you know, just keep winning world titles and then finish up at the top. And I want to be known as a legend. You know.
Oh, he's going to be the world's best. He's going to be #1. He knows that. I know that. His family know that. And he will be at the top, and he'll be fighting the best.
With his fast hands, super skills and boxing brain, Khan looks the real deal. Add to that the air of vulnerability, which makes him exciting and a box office attraction. Can Khan follow in the footsteps of recent British stars like Chris Eubank, Frank Bruno, Lennox Lewis, Nassim Hamed, Joe Calzaghe, and most recently Ricky Hatton? Will he become a British boxing legend?
I want to send that message across to the people out there. Look, there's another fighter coming. Now it's Amir Khan's turn, and he's gonna shine bright, yeah.
He sets his goals, and up to now, actually, he's been achieving them goals. And obviously his ultimate is to be a legend.
Khan's being steered towards a world title challenge in the next 12 to 18 months. But his dreams of superstar status will be shattered if he can't conquer the powerful Colombian Breidis Prescott.
It's going to be exciting, but I'm just going to go in there. And if I can knock him out in the first round, I'll do that, because I ain't going to get paid for overtime.
We will see. Well, Glenn McCrory and Ian Dark saw so many of those great nights for British boxing. We can join them now at the MEN Arena.
Well, it's all been happening, hasn't it, in Manchester this week? Rubinho, Berbatov and Amir Khan making his first appearance at what the locals call Manchester's answer to Madison Square Garden. What has he got to do in the next year or so, Amir Khan, to join the exalted kind of people who've been fighting here?
Well, I think he's got to go one better than that wonderful silver medal at Athens, and he's got to win a world title. But this is no easy task. He's got to win this, and he's got to win it well against a dangerous opponent.
Of course, the posters are up around town proclaiming this fight against the unbeaten Breidis Prescott. But there are people who've looked at the knockdowns that Amir Khan has suffered so far in his career and say he might be an accident waiting to happen.
Well, it's true. He's not the finished article yet. He's got to work on defence. You know, he is open at times. He's so keen to try and knock his opponent out. He leaves himself open, so he's got to work on that. But he's a very good fighter.
Of course, it's not the end of the world for a young fighter to be put on the floor early in his career. It happened to the great Cassius Clay, as he then was, against Henry Cooper, for goodness sake.
No, it's what you do when you get up, and I think Ali showed that, and a lot of great fighters have shown that. And I think so far Khan's shown that. He's got to fight as hard.
Of course, Ricky Hatton was down, wasn't he, against Eamon McGee? And I remember Nassim Hamed being put on the floor by Daniel Alisea.
Yeah, but it's what he does when he gets up, and I think Khan, he's got a lot to prove this time, but you know, I think he's a very good fighter and he can do it.
But the fact is, there's an awful lot to like about Amir Khan as a boxer, particularly his heart, his fitness, his conditioning, his great combination punching, and he's always a fighter worth watching.
Definitely worth watching. Is Saturday night, Nicky, the night we find out whether he'll live up to the billing?
I think so. This is his first real test. You know, he's had steps along the way, the gradual improvement, better opponents, but this is a really tough test, and it's going to be interesting.
Well, one of those better opponents was Martin Christiansen, and he put on one of his best performances that night.
Yeah, he had a good record, Christiansen, and I thought this was his best performance so far. He was sort of relaxed. He took his time, didn't rush in. You can see here, normally in fights prior to that, either he's gone rushing in, but he really boxed well here, and I think that's what he needs to do on Saturday night. He took his time, but when he had Christensen hurt, then that's when we see the blurring hand speed, and he doesn't let his opponents off the hook. That's one thing that Khan really does, that in a similar way to Joe Calzaghe. You know, the hand speed is there, and when you've got your opponent hurt, that's when I think it really comes into effect. This is when he can really start doing this sort of thing. I think he's got to slow down though. He's got to take his time, and that's where possibly, hopefully, for his sake, that's why he's been going over. He's been walking onto shots by rushing in.
This was a tough test. How much of a step up is Saturday night?
This is a big step up. There's a level difference again from this guy, because we've got an opponent in Breidis Prescott that is really hungry, a big puncher. He's slower than Khan, quite slow apparently, but very fit, very keen, and really wants this. He's so hungry, and I think it'll be a big test.
Well, it all happens in UK prime time. Amir Khan against unbeaten Colombian Breidis Prescott is a special event on Sky Box Office. Also on the bill, a fascinating world title clash between Scotland's Alex Arthur and England's Nicky Cook, plus the return of the enigmatic heavyweight Audley Harrison. It all starts at 9 o'clock. For more information, go to channel 743 or call 08 442 410 888. If life's tough in the boxing ring, everyday life has been a battle for Khan's opponent, Breidis Prescott. After an upbringing in one of the toughest places around, he's determined to make the most of every opportunity. Craig Slater reports.
At the end of a long, hard road, a dream fight for Breidis Prescott. Having grown up on the wrong side of the tracks, getting this far has been a battle in itself.
Growing up in Colombia is hard, but because I could box, the other boys at the school used to pay me to fight the bullies. He helped me get on.
Live landmines border the dirt track leading into his old neighbourhood. Even local drivers won't stop on the approaches for fear of hijack. Such was Prescott's childhood playground. But there's still no place like home, even if 2 rooms have to accommodate a family of 8.
Of course I miss Breidis when he's away, but he has to discipline himself and do his training. He helps us out with money, and everyone in the family and everyone around here is very proud of him.
If his mother keeps a shrine to her son's achievements, his Panamanian father, himself a successful trainer, inspired his ring career.
My grandfather and my father were boxers, and I grew up living in a gym. Boxing has given me great thing, and it is in my blood.
Football's Prescott's other passion. A season ticket holder at Barranquilla Juniors, he's hardly likely to be fazed by a Khan-frenzied Manchester crowd. And he'll enter the ring there to this music. But life's basics are his real inspiration. Winning fights keeps food on the table.
Khan's not the favorite, we're equals. We're both unbeaten, and we both won the world title. Let's see what happens.
Well, Nicky, when you come from a background like that, nothing is going to faze you.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I was saying. You know, the MEM won't faze this man. He's rooted to such a rough country and a tough upbringing. It'll be a real test for Khan. You know, he can punch. He's shown his last fight too against Richard Abril in June that he really wants it. For 10 rounds, he's really fit, and he's trained so hard for this. This means so much to him.
It would open a lot of doors for Prescott, though, if he won the fight.
Yeah, I mean, Khan's a rich young man already, but this man needs the money. He needs you know, he just needs it so much for his whole, not himself, but his family too.
OK, well, still to come, the latest on the big world title fight on Saturday's bill. And we look ahead to the return of Audley Harrison. He's had his great nights and his setbacks, but can he finally win over the doubters?
I'm still determined, 100% focused, and I'm going to put everything I've got into winning a world title before I retire.